Welcome back to Tran Wins Tactics Ogre.
Thank you for freeing me from the buckram. I will not forget your loyalty and service.
You are most gracious, Your Highness.
I wish only for this warring to be over. Peace cannot come a day too soon. Nor will it come without your order's help. I expect great deeds of you.
And you shall have them, even if it mean our lives. Your Highness, you are welcome to remain here in Fidok.
Abuna Maruva. If I am to lead my people, I cannot afford to remain holed away, far from where the arrows fly. I will join the ranks in the front. I will show my people and my soldiers who fights for them.
But, Your Highness...
Do not worry on my behalf. That is an order, Abuna.
As Your Highness wishes.
About the front lines.
The Bakram move independently now. The Dark Knights have lost the Regent's trust.
Then a resolution is at hand. Let us return to the city my father built. Back to Heim to end this for all time.
Ready the troops!
Well, how did I do?
You've really come into your own, sister. Father would be proud.
Come into my own? Odd. When I felt like someone else entirely.
Not to worry, Kashua. You will do splendidly.
I hope you're right.
Still, you should stay here in the castle, for your safety and that of the...
I said I wouldn't. And I meant it. I won't be some figurehead for my people to hoist and carry about. You'll come to my rescue should I get in any real trouble, won't you?
Well, of course, but
It's settled then.
The late king loved the front no less. Must be in the blood.
Yes, the Dynast King's spirit will protect me.
well, that's all well and good, but still, be careful.
Don't worry, I will.
Joshua wants to join the party. Oh, how about no?
You were just using me all along. What a fool I was to believe in you.
You can't say no, and you can't dismiss her. I hope she didn't see the last video. Alright, with the arrival of Fidok Castle, that opens up a few new things, so let's check out the War and Report. First off, I would like to point out that in this section, the Princess's Declaration, we can see here Vice, and I'm going to assume that's Denam. So these are two characters we didn't get by the time of this. One because someone's dead, and the other because I am trying to optimize my calendar in game days. Let's take a look at people to see if there's anything new. Doesn't look like it, so let's take a look at talk. Princess rescued at Barnicia. Or Barnicia. Probably Barnicia. Upon hearing that Princess Versalia was held captive by the Dark Knights, the Resistance launched an attack on Barnicia Castle. The castle was captured, and the princess is now safely back in Resistance hands. The Dark Knights claim the Resistance are holding the princess as a prisoner of war, but the princess denies this. There's Ramson Wreck razed, Gagastani sighted at Lausanne, and the ancient temples. First off, before we hit any of these, I want to show you stuff because most of the talks, like this one, is just flavor. I feel like if I pay special attention to the ones that unlock areas, people who might be playing along won't miss them. So we can see here that Barnicia Castle is the edge of the map for us. Our objective is actually here, but we're not going to be doing the story today. We'll be doing optional objectives. So we'll actually be heading past the edge of the world. War and Report, and we'll do this one at a time so that you can see as things get unlocked. First, we'll do Ramson Wrecked Raised. Salvage work has begun on the wreck of the Ramson, which sank in a storm off Legat. The Ramson was a merchant vessel bound from Balbode to the south. Thankfully, the most Balbodan crew escaped unharmed, but their precious cargo sank with the ship. The Dark Knights are assisting with recovery of the lost cargo. Balbode is a technologically superior group of individuals. We can see here that Barnicia Castle is no longer the edge, so we can head over to Grimsby. Once we reach Grimsby, depending on what we accomplish during battle, will potentially open up a new talk for another area. But either way, there's going to be something that gets unlocked when we talk about the ancient temples. All right, so let us head on to the Leupha Coast. Also, before we continue, do note that out of these maps here, if you head to Irumza Canyon, then Boulder Sands will disappear. I mean, as a battle map. If you head to Boulder Sands, Irumza Canyon will disappear as a battle map. If I recall my notes correctly, Irumza Canyon has the better loot, so we'll probably be doing that, even though approaching from the back sounds like a cooler tactical plan. And that is why, by the way, when we were fighting these guys, they're saying like, hey, this must be a detachment, they must be a decoy. You know, they're not, because these are all Bakrams on this side. There's like, we need to worry about them heading around the back to attack us. All right, Leupha Coast. Win with an archer, win with the dragoon. All right, we have, I believe I've set up 3 parties. Yes, 3 parties. There's 12 deployed here, 12 deployed here, because for the upcoming maps, our limit is 12. But for this map, our limit is 10. Now, I did promise that we are going to evolve another archer today. Well, another character, one of the original characters today. So let's go to change class, Fusilier. We found a few of these marks in the Palace of the Dead. There we go. I don't really know what goes into a Fusilier because I've never used any of those characters. Well, let's just pop in a Fusil, level 1. And I don't know, we'll go ahead and apply these as well. Apparently they get lobbered, which is cool. But we'll go ahead and stick, let's see, until next attack turn, unit will preempt or engulf. We'll go with engulf for the time being. And then we'll take control of Saluda for this next round and pay special attention to her. I think that sounds like a fair compromise. Because we only have 5 maps today instead of 6, and there's probably fewer cutscenes lined up, we should still have time to take a personal hand in battles and still compress and still keep it down to 1 episode. Alright, I'm gonna interrupt. By the way, Denam is a beefcake at this point. But after we left, or before we left Palace of the Dead, not sure which. It depends on which of the timeline recording cycles it was under. Because at least for one take, I didn't use him. Sorry, I'm rambling. He ate all my charms. He just went on an eating binge. On one recording session, I ran him without the charms. That was probably the first couple. And then I thought, wouldn't it look cooler if he was a monster? So I gave him all the charms, and he's now stronger than Canopus. I have no charms left. Every time I find charms, I just give them to him. I didn't do it on camera because I literally have like 50 charms of everything. I mean, when I go out of my way to accomplish the mission objectives, and I did the Palace of the Dead, all 100 floors, you're going to end up with a lot of charms. So I'm glad that he's so strong. Because he has to be stuck in every battle. But story battle, anyways. There's not a story battle, but he still has to be in it. Now I can give the Zenobians a run for their money. Speaking of stats, our level 46 characters or 45 characters are probably average stat level 45 characters. What I mean by this is, for example, our Dragoon here, that is a level 36 Dragoon. But that Dragoon was harnessed over the evolution of 3 or so replacements, meaning that I would start off with maybe a slightly strong Dragoon, and then I'd find a Dragoon with similar or better stats or better elements or whatever, and so I'd replace that Dragoon, and I've done that maybe 2 or 3 times to make this Rorschach the third or whatnot, and I don't remember how many. I keep a log of it, but I don't have it with me right now open or anything. Apparently you already have your mana. At skills, course correction, cause range attacks with fusils to ignore obstacles and hit with 100% accuracy, or score criticals with 100% accuracy. Okay, so let's go ahead and activate this on myself. Will it go? Okay, it goes right through our rune fencer. Cool, let's try it. All right. But yeah, so when Rorschach, if we manage to retain hold on that character for long enough, when that character reaches level 45, they will probably be stronger than the simply grown or acquired 45s we got in the Palace of the Dead. And I think it's okay because I have such a large army that I can exchange some of my long-term strength for short-term gains. That's replacing my 3rd generation 36s for 1st generation 45s. And then as my 36s eventually climb to 45, we can start repairing our short-term 45s, if that makes sense. The reason why we're doing Fusils is, first off, we're starting to engage with lots of water units, and bringing a water unit, Saluda, is not going to be treacherous. Fighting lightning is probably going to be a little dangerous for our water unit. And our archers can make decent Fusiliers. Pop him! In the face! Headshot! I will say that in my spreadsheet, it's kind of suggesting maybe that a couple of my swordsmen are better, swords masters are better suited as Fusiliers. That's been suggesting that to me for a bit. So I've been thinking about that. And it's suggesting I switch a couple of my knights, such as Buffet, into a swords master. So that'd be a nice rotation right there. I'm not sure if I'm ready to quite devote that many class marks into switching my team around yet. Because I still think that if I find more Fusiliers down the line, I'll recruit them and just replace characters outright, and then change those classes. Because Colbert, for example, my level, she's now level 36. I never did replace her because she had the highest stats for that level. So I suspect that if I manage to hold her, which I plan on, and don't replace her, if she levels up to 45, she'll be an absolute powerhouse. She's not going to be as strong as Denam, but she's still going to be much stronger than a normal generic. Koberg is one of my witches, by the way, in case you didn't remember. On this map, most of the octopi only have a chance to drop wood, but the one in the back has a chance to drop a few more items. Now, there's another cleric wingman here, but I really think that I probably will pay special attention to rune fencers instead, because I feel that their level ups are the best out of the level up information I have put together for myself. Now, I know that there is a data mine spreadsheet out there that started in Chinese and has been translated to English or something like that. I get that. I've seen it over in several different locations. My findings don't wholly agree with it, but they are very, very similar. Like, I compare my results with their results just to see, like, maybe I'm wrong or maybe there's something I overlooked. For example, like their findings say a holy dragon gets better level. A holy dragon and a dark dragon gets better level ups than normal dragons. I'll double check my information later, but I don't recall that being a thing because I specifically looked for that. Because if that turned out to be the case, I would grow a whole flock or flight of holy dragons, dark dragons, and then change them to flame and flood and all that later on, so they'd have those better stat growths. If anybody is going to min-max the characters, I'm definitely for that. So that's why I looked into that. So I started by trying to find information on one dragon. I think it was the cloud dragon, Air. Air is my baseline. And then I immediately compared that to a light and dark dragon. Well, they look the same. Then I immediately compared it with every single other dragon. Although I didn't want to, I figured like, oh, it's just gonna be the same. I went ahead and did it. I even compared information for things like Balder Golem, Iron Golem, Clay Golem, Stone Golem, thinking like, oh, obviously Balder's gonna be the best. Actually, if I remember right, I think Clay was the best, at least for the stats I wanted. Because I also believe that I know what stats do. Agility being a kind of a low tier stat. Here's what I mean. When training, if I were to take Kashua, or I know what to say. We brought in a Fusilier. In the next map, we have a chance to recruit a Fusilier. And I wanted to level up his dagger. So I had him swing at Denam several times in a training mat. If he was facing Denam from the front, it was with a level 1 dagger proficiency, and we saw how high Denam's stats are. It was like an 80% chance to hit. If he was attacking Denam from the side or back, it was a 100% chance to hit. And as he leveled up his proficiency from 1 to 36, and obviously his accuracy against Denam's front, if I wanted to hit from the front, which I didn't, but I was learning things, taking notes, observing everything about the world around, right? He had substantial accuracy, even under this terrible situation, right? The reason I say this is he had a low-level weapon proficiency. He's not necessarily a close combat character, yet he was still doing 80% against a godlike character from the front and 100% from the side. Agility just basically increases your accuracy, and that's not something that's totally needed unless there's something with it about parrying and stuff that I don't know about. I would say putting points into avoidance is better than putting points in agility. That being said, I'm not going to turn down agility charms, and they're still going to go to Denam. Everything goes to Denam. One with a knight and one with an archer. Perform an action to restore an ally's HP. For this particular map, we will be fighting a Dark Knight and trying to rescue a guest. Should we successfully rescue the guest, he will join our army. And we get access to another sub-event.
Spit it out! Where's the salvage?
It was bandits took it, I told you.
You're a greater fool than I thought if you expect me to believe that.
Well, not fool enough to cross you, my lord. I mean, I have to be, to go selling your cargo out from under you.
Oh, great father, who looks down upon us. This man lies to me. Yes, he was paid handsomely, but now he hides our own property from us. Filaha on high, have you no mercy in your benevolent heart for this poor, sinful lamb? What? You would have me pass judgment upon him? I see. Great father, though I am but a rough thing, a cast-off from your design, this I do for you. Kill him!
Hold, Martym! Let him go.
Oh, thank you, great paragon of righteousness, for showing up at the least opportune moment.
Help! They mean to kill everyone who dove for that ship. Everyone!
Your lips flap too freely. No matter. You can tell him all you want in hell.
Martym, never change. Right, we will take control of Denam during this battle. Casual shot, 400 damage. Okay, alright. Maybe less impressive since our guest character can do almost as much. But Denam does have like 80% more hit points than he used to. Charms or hit points give about 15%. I forget what MP does. Probably like 5 per charm. For the other attributes, it's like 1 per charm. when you're picking up green cards, I also know information about that from some of my, I guess, data mining is what you'd call it. Again, my findings don't wholly agree with other people's findings, and I am going to say I'm probably an amateur compared to them. However, I still believe with what I see with my own eyes. But by and large, that information is correct. You wouldn't go wrong relying upon it. For example, I do like leveling up as a warrior just to bulk up some hit points, because I find that to be more substantial than getting a 10th of a vitality point or something. But the reason why I like rune fencers and then sword masters as leveling is because it gives a substantial amount of hit points and some mana. Now, that being said, again, I don't actually know how important having mana is. It might not be. It might be because you start with 0, maybe it doesn't matter if you have 1,000 MP or 100 MP. I don't know. But at one point, I felt like someone wished they had more MP on their characters, and MP is hard to find this set. That's about the limit of why I think maybe I should go for some sort of balance there. Ninjas also have a decent amount of MP and hit points combined, so they're not a bad class to level as either. Alright, dude, don't make me do a second take. You get over here so we can heal you. Oh, nice! AI comes in to save the day. Now I know that Fusilier didn't look like he had a lot of damage, but since he's basically in the front, he could take a lot of focus fire at any given point. So keeping him topped off is helpful. Don't have enough for a Chimera 2 yet. Let's go ahead and go smack somebody. Bonk. I don't know, my biggest complaint about using the teleportation thing is I wonder if it makes for bad video. Because maybe you don't like not being able to see where my guy's moving. Suddenly, someone disappears, and then something happened where you didn't know it happened. Maybe that's a thing, I don't know. So feel free to let me know if you don't like having my characters teleport around the map. I like it because it makes the battles faster, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get through the battles quickly, and more of the mechanical parts of the game, or storyline stuff. Alright, dude. I know that this guy moves next. I was trying to think if I should move the Lich anywhere, but I don't think there's just much they can really do that's all that helpful. So let them consider what they want to do. I'm gonna make sure that guy gets a little bit of healing, though. Have another one. if your guest character, the Fusilier there, picks up an item, it still goes to you.
Ah! You'll all pay dearly for this one day.
Also, through the Palace of the Dead, I did learn a little bit of trial that if you recruit somebody who has picked up an item, it still also goes to you. The guy that just left, Martym, he will drop the Fusil. So far, this marks the one and only time that I have seen an enemy shift stoning away where you still get a spoil at the every spoil that I've ever seen is a enemy boss drop, basically. It's never like, hey, here's your mission completion, 500 gold and an item. No, any of that stuff always drops from the boss as his loot. This is the first and only time that that a shift stoner has left something, the Fusil. And all of that will get fed to Denam for another 6 strength points, which is basically 2 levels worth of strength.
Thank you, good sir. I am Lindl of Belbode.
No need to thank. It is our duty to repel the Dark Knights from this land. What was Martym about, anyway? What did he want of you?
Ah. You ever heard of a weapon known as a Fusil?
I've seen one, yes?
It was taken from a galley sunk in the waters not far from here. Neither Valeria nor Zenobia nor even Lodis possesses the means to make the Fusils. They're all of them crafted in the land of Belbode, my homeland, across the waters to the south. They would have fetched a fine price, but our cargo was lost when our galley foundered in a storm. It's gone beneath the waves. The Dark Knights led the effort to retrieve the Fusils. All that had been gathered up till this past 7 day had already gone to their keeping. But last night, bandits fell upon us and stole what we gathered since.
Thus, Martym's wrath.
A fool's wrath. Killing me won't get back his Fusils. Not that such trivium would stop a man like Martym.
With us here, your life will continue to be in danger.
Oh, I was in danger long before you arrived. You see, Fusils are a different breed of weapon than your common sword or bow. It takes someone knowledgeable in the weapon's workings to wield it. Fusilier. Now I'm the only one who remains, and they're afraid I'll join the resistance. A clever twist to fate's skein that they've driven me to you, right? If my choice is to work for their lot or fight for Valeria's freedom, well, that's no choice at all. Besides, I doubt us meeting here was chance. What do you say?
If you fight for Valeria, how can I refuse?
That's the spirit. You'll not regret this.
You received a Fusilier's mark. Lindl wants to join the party. Okay, he did mention that bandits have stolen Fusils. By completing Grimsby, we get 1 warrant report. By rescuing Lindl, we get another. So the warrant report that we get for freeing Grimsby is fortresses under siege. That will open up a fortress to our south. We'll hit that in a second. For rescuing Lindl, we get this other sub-event, the Bandits of Neimrahava. There have been a number of raids on caravans near the town of Grimsby on Legat, known as a center for trade. Grimsby has long fended off bandits with the fortifications built across the town. Now raiders are sent to attack from the sky. The bandits are believed to be camped in the Neimrahava Woods outside of town. A bit delayed there. Perform an action to debuff, win with an archer, and obtain a buff card. We're going to still use our lightning characters. It's with a little bit of ice since I don't have all that many lightning. I have diversified our portfolio a bit, so it's not as many air units as we used to have. Though it does look like we have lots of earth. I think because of the Palace of the Dead had plenty of earth characters as well. Taking a look at the enemy, we will see that we have now run into Gamp the 3rd time, and this is when you can recruit him. If you wish to recruit him, and the birds are still alive, the birds will also join with him. If you are a bloodthirsty maniac like me, it may be worth considering letting the birds live for this.
I recognize you, lad. What business see you out here?
I might ask the same of you, Gamp. Who'd have thought you were the bandit thorn in Grimsby's side?
You took me friends away, you did. Made me very, very sad. Boys, get out of here! The younglings will make this ground your grave.
You notice that he didn't say yay or nay to this. And when you kill him, he sounds like he knows nothing about the fusils. Maybe he just doesn't know what fusils are. I don't know. But here's the thing. When he joins your party, he is equipped with a fusil. Right now, I can believe he's equipped with an axe. Yeah, so it's a regular axe. So note that when he joins our team that he's got a gun equipped. Our goal is to get Gamp to a lower health without killing him outright. We don't need to control you, so why don't we put you on Stalwart Defender? Denam is equipped with things that should make the enemy not pay attention to him. I'm not 100% sure yet that I know how it works, but I'll show you as soon as it becomes my turn again. We go to condition. We can see that I've got glistening helm, reeking armor, and musty gauntlets. It looks like any of these yellow items, there can only be one up. When Kashua joined our army, she brought her pink necklace back. That's good because I was feeling kind of bummed out just a bit that I was always going to be one less red necklace. But since it looks like we can only ever have one, I guess I didn't lose out on anything, except maybe some goth from conversion. Anyways, if you were to pick up a second glistening helm or even Ring of the Dead, which are also yellow background, it just gets converted to goth. So we can only have one of these things, and it says here at the very top of the screen, it exudes an unpleasant smell. And I'd heard that when you wear this smelly set, you become invisible to enemies, or if you wear the whole thing or something, I don't know. I haven't found a set of smelly footwear yet. You would think they'd all be smelly, but whatever. So at the moment, he's equipped with Sid shoes, or Sid shoes. So I don't know if I've got the full set or not. But that is something that makes Denam even more interesting, is that he's so powerful, and the enemy's probably not going to really attack him, which is bad for me, because the more they attack him, the less the rest of everybody else takes. Like, if they attack, say, this knight, she might take, I don't know, 100 damage. They attack Denam, probably like 5 damage. And so this will do about 1,000 damage if it hits 4 times. If it hits 5 times, I got a load. Okay, well, apparently he still needs a little bit more damage to get below 10%. Okay, never mind. I guess he's just gonna die.
Puss and porridge. The boys got me.
What did you do with the fusils you took from Grimsby, Gamp?
The hell are you talking about, boy? Oh, don't. But, you go unavenged.
I will go ahead and keep this in here because this way you can see his dialogue about not sounding like he comprehends about the fusils. I don't know if he actually has nothing to do with them. But I do find it strange that he is equipped with a gun. That's very strange. He's equipped with a gun as he joins you. That might be a nod to, yeah, he's actually got it. And he's just lying to you his whole way through the grave. Or doesn't understand anything. It could mean anything. Yeah, let me go and load, and we'll do this fight again. While we're at this screen, let's go and bring in Lindl in case he has anything to say. I didn't actually test that out. Let's go ahead and replace, I don't know, why don't we replace Larissa? Drop in Lindl. And I don't want to take control of everybody. And yeah, we'll leave AI alone. We'll just reinitialize the Rune Fencer.
I recognize you, lad. What business see you out here?
And then we say that we're out here for the fusils. Alright, this is your first battle with us, so you haven't had an AI yet. I guess we could play having him a bit. You haven't. Of course, I didn't give you any gear. Actually, you know what? Let's use the Rune Fencer, who we do have control of. He'll toss you a mana seed. That sounds good. I'm bringing Lindl in case he has any more light to shed on this situation. And I did think it was possible that one of my other characters would kill Gamp. But I figured it'd be okay if he did, because then I could show you the dialogue I was referring to. I mean, accidentally killing your enemy is a problem when you're as strong as I am, of course. So give you an idea of what goes on behind the scenes, I rolled Gamp's stats about 4 times and picked his best allocation, which was maybe about a difference of a 20-point, 30-point spread. So throwing some numbers out, which may not be wholly accurate, but if memory serves, the lowest Gamp had something like 1,290 stat points, and the best Gamp had something like 1,320 stat points. I'm left clicking outside of it, but it takes a little while, I think, before it registers anything. Alright, so let's not hit him with Chimera this time. Let's try smacking with something a little less enthusiastic. can I make... Cannot put him to sleep, but I could put his birdie to sleep. Shouldn't be necessary. How about Dark Blade? It's not too bad. It's still less than the Chimera too, so let's try that. We'll take control of our ranged casters. Have them go do something else besides bomb the boss. So Abyss is another indirect spell with a slightly lower area range, but it does more damage. 425 and 200. Yeah, it does less. It does more damage. Just has less range. We could bomb those two dudes on the right, except they're not even in our range. So I guess we'll just bomb this dude. But I mean, if we can only hit him, we might as well use a direct fire spell. Alright, you get to move, and you shoot over everyone's head. Yeah, I don't think you could shoot out range. A long-range fusel attack that deals piercing damage has a chance to inflict stagger. Chance to inflict misstep. Silence the target. How much damage would this possibly do? None because it doesn't actually hit him. Does everything that require line of sight? I assume so, yeah, okay. So what if we did... Oh, he doesn't have course correction. Alright. Well, that's just all a shame, isn't it? Okay, can you do any considerable damage to him? I'm assuming this does more than one shot. No. It said rapid blast, so I thought maybe it meant more than one attack. I know rapid means speed, so yes, I guess he's just doing it quickly. But typically when you see rapid as an attack, it suggests that you're doing mini attacks in one turn. You need to be down below 100 hit points. This would get you down to 160. Still not enough. What if I landed on this? I don't think I could shoot you though, at this angle. It would be probably too much, unless you get just a little bit more healing. Alright, what if we hit him with a firestorm? Not quite. Too much. You know, that looks like it works.
Sorry, boys. I'm not long for this world. You served me another bowl of the weak broth of defeat. Burn me, boil me, whatever you like. But not the younglings. The boys are innocents. I'm the bad egg. The rotten core of the apple. Punish the man. Spare the child.
You mean what you say, Gamp?
You tell me what you want. You got it. I'm good for me word.
I'll hold you to that, then. You're a fine master, younglings. Gamp, you're with us now. I'm making you join the Resistance. Let's see if you can take care of a country as well as you can take care of those creatures.
What's this now? You're making a friend of Gamp. Oh, this ain't the plum in me pudding. I was trying to kill you, boy. You sure you want me around when you set camp for the night?
You're just another victim of this war, Gamp. One of the Hierophant's pawns. I'm giving you the chance to use your talents for something worthwhile.
Well, that's downright kind of you. You make a man feel almost human.
And no question was made about the Fusils. However, in his possession, Gant wants to join the party. You can see that he has a commander's gun on him. Very clearly a Fusil, one that he's not allowed to equip and will fall off of him once he finishes joining your party. It's no longer in his equipment. If we take a look at just him, we can see that it is completely gone. There's nothing there. As for the Warren report, the people... Oh, yeah, I'll need to read this. Jonathan Torgo Lindl, a young warrior hailing from the southern continent of Balbode, who has trained in the use of the Fusils made there. He came close to defeat at the hands of the Dark Knight Martym at Grimsby, but was saved by Denam. He journeyed to Valeria to purvey the sophisticated weaponry of his homeland. The guns made there can inflict terrible damage, but require training to use as they are vastly different to more traditional weapons. Too elaborate to make in large quantities, they are sold for princely sums. Then we have 3 new entries, well, an update. He came to lead a ragtag group of bandits, but repented his ways after encountering Denam again. Berda the Younger, an offspring of the Griffin Berda raised by the Beastmaster Gamp. Though still young in Griffin years and smaller than Berda in stature, his intelligence and strength far surpasses his peers. This Griffin and Obda both have lower RTs. He is usually irritable around anyone but Gamp, jabbing his beak at those who stray too close. A peck from him is more than enough to keep unwanted company at a distance. He's slightly smaller than Berda the Younger, having just reached adulthood, but is similarly talented. Okay, now this one's slightly smaller than Berda the Older in stature. This one's slightly smaller than Berda the Younger in stature. Okay. Unlike Berda, he takes more readily to the company of others. He often pecks playfully at those who approach him. However, even an affectionate nudge from him can be a painful proposition, so a measure of caution is required. Alright, oh, and there's actually one new talk that we need to do. We have the fortresses under siege. While this is an ancient temple, you need to do this first before you even get access to it. Valeria has a thriving sea trade, and many fortresses have been built to protect its ports from enemies. During King Dorgalua's reign, soldiers of the Kingdom of Valeria were garrisoned at each fortress. But since the kingdom's downfall, they have been manned sporadically at best. This had led to an increase in pirates, bandits, and army stragglers capturing the fortresses for their own use. Gecho Fortress on Benecunga fell into pirate hands just the other day. As Gecho is south of the prominent trading port of Grimsby, merchants there are anxious to see the pirates routed from the fortress as soon as possible. So yeah, that's the fortress, and there's Grimsby. And here we are, Gecho Fortress. Win with the Dragoon and obtain a buff card. At this juncture, we are flipping to Formation 3. This is an air group, so you might correctly surmise that our opponent today will be Earth. Let's go ahead and assign everybody. Since we don't have any special objectives to accomplish, let's just saving our guests, getting an enemy down to a certain hit point threshold. We're gonna let Denam do what Denam does.
So, the Grand Leader of the Resistance takes pirate hunting into his own hands. Boys, they take us here, and we're all headed for the chopping block. Kill them all!
Again, this probably matters to absolutely no one that isn't crazy about the details like me, but this boss and the boss of one other fortress that I had cleared before getting ready to record all of this stuff, they both dropped one of those pink fruits. So I'd be curious to see if every boss out of these informal guardians of the ancient temples, we'll say, has a pink fruit. If they do, then it kind of doesn't give much credence to Gamp holding the gun as anything special. The game must consider the drop as something extracurricular. I don't know, because this pirate, he's not actually a guardian of this temple. He just happens to be occupying a fort. So I have no idea why these forts are on top of the temple. I mean, that's not something a military real estate agent would just say, like, hey, we are built on an ancient burial ground here. You want to build a fort? You may say, like, well, this thing must be, or this fort must have been built out of the ancient ruins. No, not so much, because you have to descend several levels to get to this ancient ruin or whatever. It's guarded by monsters that must have been way stronger than anybody alive guarding the surface. I don't know about you, but I think standing on top of a hostile, volatile force that is unpredictable, that is stronger than you, is a poor place to set a military installation. That's like if you decided that, hey, this volcano looks cool. Even though the volcano itself, I know, hates my army. It would kill them if they happen to see them. Alright, I'm just rambling again, I suppose. So that Swordmaster, he just used that blade I talked about, how it had Hellhound or Cerberus or something as a summon. So I've toyed with the idea of taking a bunch of Magi and then converting the Swordmaster and just handing him the sword and letting him go crazy. Because, you know, you can't cast summons first turn because you start with 0 MP. You'd have to work around that by, for example, charging him up with someone else, or having him charge and then cast summon on the second turn. Well, that sword can be used right away, and I haven't tested it out yet, but I assume that swords and other items that are used in battle rely on your user's intelligence, I assume. Again, I haven't tested it out yet. I'm sure I will later. Let's talk about this chick right here who is now casting Gaia Strike on us. I don't like that it takes so long before I can actually do anything. Alright, so anyways, every time I would find someone in Palace of the Dead, and if I happen to try to recruit them, this spell would just disappear. I wouldn't get it. I don't know if it's because I'm only in Chapter 4 and not yet finished the game, or what. I would have thought that maybe I'd start unlocking it. So I tried to recruit her. Having finished Palace of the Dead, I thought, okay, surely I must have surpassed whatever requirement there is, right? I tried recruiting her, it still disappears. So it may just be that I need to beat the game first. Yeesh. Did that meteor strike seriously do 0 damage to somebody, or was that just a splash effect of 0? One of the things I love about having gotten relics that do that have a magic ability is it makes it so much easier to train my warriors. So we just unlocked a Union level 36 as of, let's say, this episode, right? Because at the end of the episode 25, we went from 32 to 36 Union. So this episode, we are at 36 level. Well, it's a pain leveling up your warriors' weapon proficiencies. I wish the game didn't have weapon proficiencies like that. Like, it makes it so convenient, I guess, to, at least from what I hear, to job change from one job to another. But weapon proficiencies are still a chore. That's one of the reasons why I spend so long in the training scenarios, is I'm letting my guys level up whip and cudgel and crossbow and whatever. Well, I had mentioned that you get a lot of weapon proficiencies by casting an attack magic, though ninjutsu does not count. Healing an undead does count, but ninjutsu did not. So having my warrior carry like a dagger that casts tornado, it does alleviate the problem somewhat. you meteored Denam, but Denam took almost no damage, so I can understand why. Again, you'll have to let me know if you don't like teleporting. I will keep my guys from wearing that during recorded battles if this is something that makes it difficult for you to watch.
Someone, take me to the sea. A dry grave's no end for a pirate.
From the looks of things, Denam just leaves bodies where they are, because I have no idea how else Nybeth would have gotten the bodies of Leonar and Zabos. Those are castles that your resistance has owned. They conquered Brigantis Castle and what's the other one called? Critinay Keep, yeah. These are resistance-owned territories. If Nybeth can just waltz on in and take the bodies, I don't think Denam is taking very good care of these corpses. So I really doubt he's going to send you to sea. Okay, we've conquered this side of things. You note that there is nothing here yet, so let's go to War and Report. Go to Talk. We just did Fortresses Under Siege. This is one we've been sitting on. The next one is the Ancient Temples. 6 fortresses, we're sitting on one right now, scattered across Valeria, serve to protect it from foreign enemies, but few are aware that these were not built as strongholds. The fortresses were temples dedicated to the 6 daughters of the Great Father Falaha. The temple areas remain today, but the entryways from the fortifications were sealed during the reign of King Dorgalua. No one knows why the temples were sealed off or how the seals can be broken. If you know that there's some sort of great power underneath you, this is like if there is, say, a nuclear silo that is probably live and you don't know when it will go off. And you say, hey, this is a military base anyways, let's just settle here. Like, really? Like, they know that this is sealed by something and there's power in there. No one knows what's in there, but obviously there was something in there before and it was closed off. There's something there still now. It didn't just disappear. So that unlocked Geyld Fortress. So there's nothing to do here. Our objective to access the dungeons here, we have to clear out all of the bandits in each of the fortresses. So we already cleared out the bandits in Gecho Fortress. We will next clear out the bandits in Geyld Fortress. The enemies at Lausanne, whatever, that's for clearing out enemies at the Lausanne Fortress, separate from the Necromancer that we fought earlier. That is the quest we're currently making some progress on. And yeah, there is no war and report for that pirate, whose name I already forget. Exorcise an undead enemy, obtain a buff card. Let's go and switch back to Formation 2, and we had replaced Larissa and Lindl earlier. We're going to put Larissa back for this map.
Looking for something? You do well to leave while you still draw breath, or you may lose your life before finding what you seek.
What I don't get is why Denam is now attacking this Annaberg guy. He did say, hey, go away. Because Denam is like, no, I kill you now. I don't think Denam has problem with liches, because first off, he didn't seem to have a problem with Cressida joining the army. There was actual dialogue there. You have the option to create your own lich. I have got 3 of them. 2 are recruited, and 1 is Neimrahava converted. I just don't know why we're ruthlessly killing this guy. It's the way the game needs it, so we'll go ahead and do it away with him. Oh, when the retreat option is so worthless. I mean, I don't know if that was the way the original had it, but you cannot retreat in any, I guess, battle Denam is required to be in. It's pretty much the way I see it. So it's do or die. And if you die, you just load to before the battle. So why even bother with the retreat system? Now, that being said, it may be just a residual mechanic from a 20-year-old game. I never played the original, so I couldn't tell you that. But if I wanted to back away from this mage, I don't think I can. Let me try. Yeah, there's no retreat option. We're stuck in this battle. Wrong order there. The AI always does it in that order. And now it's going to be wasted because he's going to counter. I'm definitely enjoying the power spike that our characters get from having completed the Palace of the Dead. I had worried that people would dislike the fact that I'm attacking the rest of the storyline with relics and stuff. I mean, I don't think that the relics, I don't think that relics themselves would necessitate a win. I couldn't just equip, say, that axe. That was a Boreas axe. I couldn't equip that to a level 1 guy and expect to steamroll the enemy by himself or anything. Not even remotely close. But since our characters were already above average in stats, and I had any element that I wanted to draw upon to counter the enemy formations that I would carefully research, adding a formidable arsenal on top of all of that is just frosting on a cake. Now, if only I could do something about the AI. I'd much rather the clerics just patch up small wounds on our characters and do a little bit of damage to the ghosts. Anybody can damage the ghosts. Even my lich can damage the ghosts. One of the things I've been toying with was the idea of forming an entire squad of hoplites. Possibly undead hoplites. That would be awesome. I think I like Juggernauts better than Berserkers, so there may come a time where I change all Berserkers into Juggernauts. Because Juggernauts do have some pretty cool abilities. While Berserk is obviously going to be more damage, I have not been able to fit it adequately in my playstyle. Maybe that's because I'm doing no in-caps, so I don't take those kinds of risks. The Berserker has a higher level of pincer attack than the Warrior does. So let's pretend, these are not real numbers, but let's pretend that the Berserker gets pincer 3 at level 15. And the Warrior only gets pincer 3 at level 25. Again, I'm just making those numbers up. That's not actually what it really is. But Berserker will have higher pincer level. The Berserker can also attack more enemies around it. I'm not utilizing these things because I'm generally not sending people out on their own.
I mastered time itself, but I could not stop my own time from coming. Oh.
There's another Fruit of the Seraph. Like, if that just grows around here, you'd think we'd set up shop. The Resistance would just order some people to camp here and bring me Fruit of the Seraph. Alright, so we have completed all of the side objectives in this corner of the world. What will we do next episode?
Welcome, dear.
Why, we might embark on the infamous Denam's quest. I've been worrying that I wasn't going to do this right. So I hope you look forward to the answer in the next episode of Tran Wins Tactics Ogre Reborn. Thank you for making it to the end, and I'll see you next time.
Don't stay away long.